First released in 1993, Doom wasn't just a game, it was a seismic shift for the gaming industry. This pioneer of the first-person shooter genre combined visceral combat, innovative level design, and frenetic action that redefined how players experienced video games. Today, we're diving into 5 indie games that tap into that Doom DNA while offering their own creative twist on the formula. Before we start, make sure to check out Indie Game Arcade, the weekly podcast dedicated to bringing you nothing but the latest and greatest indie games. Check the link in the description to find Indie Game Arcade on your favorite podcast app. Number 5. Hellbound. Starting us off at number 5 is Hellbound, developed by Cybot Studios and released in 2020. This love letter to the golden age of first-person shooters cranks up the action to deliver a brutal, no-frills FPS experience. Players step into the boots of Hellgore, a towering warrior battling relentless waves of demons across sprawling, blood-soaked arenas. Hellbound focuses on high-speed combat and powerful weaponry first and foremost. The game doesn't concern itself with deep storytelling. Instead, it's all about pure adrenaline-pumping chaos. With its heavy metal aesthetic and relentless pacing, Hellbound is a perfect choice for fans who crave the raw, unfiltered energy of classic shooters. Number 4. Project Warlock. Coming in at number 4 is Project Warlock, developed by Buckshot Software and released in 2018. This retro-inspired shooter takes the classic FPS formula and fuses it with RPG elements for a fresh spin. Players take on the role of a mysterious warlock armed with an arsenal of weapons and spells, battling through 60 levels across 5 distinct worlds. Unlike traditional shooters, but very much like traditional RPGs, Project Warlock also features a progression system, allowing players to upgrade weapons, spells, and character stats. The pixelated graphics blend modern flair with nostalgic charm, while the varied environments, from medieval castles to icy wastelands, keep the experience fresh. For fans of Doom who enjoy a touch of customization and strategy, Project Warlock delivers in spades. Number 3. Dusk. Taking the third spot is Dusk, developed by David Szymanski and released in 2018. This modern classic captures the gritty, fast-paced essence of retro shooters, while crafting its own distinct identity. Players navigate a surreal world filled with cultist, supernatural horrors, and grotesque monsters, armed with an arsenal of weapons that feels satisfyingly powerful. The game's minimalist graphics harken back to the 90s FPS era, but its haunting rural setting and episodic structure add depth and variety. With its relentless pacing and dark tone, Dusk is a must-play for fans of retro shooters who crave a chilling, immersive experience. Number 2. Cruel. In the second spot, we have Cruel, developed by James Dornan and released in January of 2025. Cruel throws players into a grim, dystopian world where survival depends on quick reflexes, precise aim, and a willingness to embrace chaos. The game's combat is fast and visceral, blending traditional gunplay with brutal melee mechanics. Players can switch seamlessly between firing weapons and executing close-quarters takedowns, creating a fluid and satisfying combat loop. The game's dark, industrial environments are filled with eerie lighting, haunting sound design, and of course, plenty of creepy enemies. Every corner feels dangerous, and every floor of the motel is a fight for survival. If you're looking for a game that doesn't pull any punches, Cruel is ready to test your limits. Before we reveal our number 1 pick, let's take a look at an honorable mention, Ultrakill. Developed by RC Hakita Patala and released in 2020, this game mixes retro graphics with modern mobility mechanics, creating a frenetic, arena-style FPS experience. Players chain together lightning-fast attacks, dodges, and combos to annihilate waves of enemies. While Ultrakill isn't a traditional Doom homage, its breakneck speed and visceral combat make it a standout title for fans of fast-paced FPS. Number 1. Prodeus. And finally at number 1, we have Prodeus, developed by Bounding Box Software and released in 2022. This game reimagines the legacy of retro shooters with cutting-edge graphics that can be scaled down for that classic pixelated feel. Players step into a chaotic world of demons and destruction, armed with an arsenal of weapons that feel as satisfying as they look. Your only goal? Destroy Prodeus and anything that gets in your way. The game features meticulously designed levels, dynamic lighting, and particle effects that elevate the experience. With its robust map editor and community-made content, Prodeus also pays homage to Doom's modding legacy. It's the ultimate tribute to the original while carving out its own place in the FPS pantheon. From the brutal chaos of Hellbound to the polished intensity of Prodeus, these indie games prove that the spirit of Doom lives on in the indie scene. Whether you're a die-hard fan of classic shooters or a newcomer seeking fast-paced action, these titles offer something for everyone. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more indie game content. And remember to check out the Indie Game Arcade podcast for more recommendations and discussions about your favorite indie games. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.